Ooh, remove. Wait. Are we good? No, I gotta remove. There you go. All right. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everybody's doing well. My name is Federico Hernandez from Savvy Network and the Rhum Lab. Look at my shirt, the Rhum Lab. Hope everybody's doing phenomenal. I'm super excited. It's actually sunny again here in Seattle. That's why I have so much energy today. If anybody hears me incorrectly, am I sounding all right, Benoit, and Christelle and Suzanne? Yeah? Okay,
sure.
good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm super excited today on the Rhum Lab channel. We are talking about the purpose of the Rhum Agricole Tour. Really quickly, let me talk about our platform. We have, to your right, you're going to see the chat box. Write any comments that you have or share anything. If you have any questions, make sure to put it down below where it says ask questions. We ask everybody to please share the event. Let's bring as many people as possible. They're beautiful people today with here joining us. It's like 3 beauties and 1 beast. It's okay. And then at the same time, today's agenda is going to be around 30-40 minutes about the main presentation, 1 or 2 minutes about contact information, 15 and 20 minutes going through our Rhum O'Clock Q&A, my favorite time. Really quickly, the top, as I shared, is the purpose of the Rhum Agricole Tour. We have 3 guests, Benoit Bale, as I would pronounce it in Spanish, Benoit Bale.
Yeah.
And then we have Suzanne Long and Christelle Treunov. Benoit, for those who don't know, he's the founder of the Rhum Embassy together with Jitany. They're based out of France. Then we have Suzanne Long, based out of San Francisco. She has the Rhum Academy. And Christelle Treunov is the brand ambassador for H.S.E Rhum Agricole. All right, let me bring them to the screen. Let them say hello. They're the main reason we're here.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah, fine.
Always happy to talk about agricole.
Today we were doing like a quick test, and then Suzanne came with this beautiful layout, the tropics, and then we're like white background, super depressing, and then we're like, no, we're gonna fix this. Then Benoit did an amazing here. I think he brought a plant from the Caribbean quickly. Christelle just opened her window. And then, but she displayed her next expression. It's beautiful. No, it's amazing. And then here I am in my room. Well, let's get back together. Let's share some time together. Let's talk. Let's start about. Let's get. And wait. Sorry. I got excited here. Let the Rhum education begin. First of all, we're gonna start with well, before we actually start with Benoit, Suzanne, Christelle, and Christelle. Oh, Benoit, Suzanne, and Christelle. If you can tell us a little bit more about yourself, and we can do it 2 ways, a couple ways. First of all, I had different slides that's dedicated for you guys. And maybe at that point is when you guys talk about yourself, a little bit of what you guys are doing currently. Or we can talk about it right now. What do you guys think?
It's up to you.
It's up to me. Okay, great. That's easy. Hey, I wish my wife told me that. I'm like,
take it where you can get it.
All right. All right. Benoit, let's tell us a little bit more about yourself. And then after you explain a little bit about yourself, tell us about the origin of the Rhum Agricole and its mission.
Yes. So as you probably guessed, I'm from Europe, from France more specifically. And I actually started in the rum industry like 10 years ago, more or less, starting with my own flavored rum brand. And next to this, I was opening a Facebook group, which is called La Confrérie du Rhum, still existing, French-speaking Facebook group, which counts now almost about 40,000 members. So it's a very, very huge rum community. And then I went on that journey by being part of juries for different competitions, rum competitions during rum shows all around Europe. And at some point, the brand St. James, Agricole rum brand from Martinique, came to me, and they wanted me to help them as a brand ambassador for export markets. So I was glad to help them. And once that mission was ended, that was a mission only for 1 year, they noticed that another brand from the same group needed an ambassador as well. Since they had someone else, Stephen Martin, taking over St. James, they wanted me to represent the PAS, which I'm still doing today. So global brand ambassador for the PAS. And next to this, with Jerry Jitany, we founded that company, the Rhum Embassy. And our role was actually to create the Agricole Tour. So where did this idea came from? Basically, we noticed going as judges on competitions or just visitors on different shows, we noticed that Agricole rums from the French Caribbean were not very well represented in other countries out of France. So now we're talking around 2014, 2015. And so talking about this with the brands, we actually thought that it could be a good idea to split the costs between several brands and maybe try to organize a kind of tour, this Agricole Tour, and going to all the rum shows around the world with all these brands and showcasing them together. So that was the basic idea. So we started, first of all, in Europe. We went to Berlin, we went to Rome, we did London and Madrid. And this just grew. Then all of a sudden we were in Poland. We have been in Japan. And of course, we also came to the United States. And yeah, so that was basically it.
That sounds a lot of fun.
Yeah. A lot of work too, but a lot of fun, definitely.
Absolutely. How did you met Jerry?
How did I meet Jerry?
Jerry said that it was at a bar.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
No. Wasn't. Actually, it was over Facebook. It was because of that Facebook group that I founded. In the beginning, I founded that group because in my area, I didn't have any connections or friends that were drinking rum. And I was interested into it. And I thought, I cannot be the only one. There must be some other people drinking rum in the world. That's not possible. And so I started a group to find friends, basically. That was the basic idea. And that's actually how we connected with Jerry, through that group when we were 10, like the 10 first members of the group. And yeah, now we partner as best friends, whatever you want. Ben and Jerry.
Ben and Jerry. Oh, now I get it. Of course, that's why you guys are always posting on social media.
Oh.
It took me until right now. Oh my God, what an airhead. So tell me, so you said, yep, you mentioned actually the events, the tours that you attend in the US. Thanks, you guys are a big support of what I do, which I appreciate a lot. And why the US market? Because
the US market is the biggest rum market in the world. I mean, that's for sure. And Agricole rums are niche products. I mean, Agricole rums are representing, well, sugarcane juice rums are representing 5% of the world production. And Agricole rums from the French West Indies, less than that. And so we wanted to get recognized as well on other markets than only France. And of course, then you want to target for the biggest one, and you want to come to the US. Living the American dream in the French Caribbean, something like that. And that was actually why we wanted to do it. Well, we knew that some brands were already represented, a little bit at least, through Ed Hamilton, for example, who's distributing some brands. And we just managed to bring some more and open the door for some more brands to find distributors.
yeah. Have you thought yourself of becoming an importer or no?
No.
Way
too much.
Interesting. All right. So can you share 3 3 examples of accomplishments that the tour has done for brands?
I think one big accomplishment, business-wise, was that the tour managed to find distributors for some brands in a lot of countries. Talking about Trois-Rivières in Italy, for example, or in Poland, or even H.S.E in the US. The first contact they had came through us, actually, to start their business in New York a couple of years ago. And that happened for a lot of brands in several countries, definitely. Another thing was that we managed to, well, because of us, people started getting aware about what agricole rum is, and that there's something very different from what they used to drink. A lot of people a couple of years ago were drinking sweet rums, still do, but less. People are getting more educated, and so they also needed to get educated about agricole rum, that we do something very special, very different from all the other types of rums made out of sugarcane juice, in the French West Indies, with a special name attached to it, etc., etc. People didn't know that, and they started comparing it to other spirits, like whiskey, for example. And they started noticing about terroir, which is a very important aspect of agricole rum. So that's a second thing that we managed. People nowadays are more aware about what agricole rum is. And a third thing, I think, is that because of the Agricole Tour, some producers also managed to get aware of it and started producing sugarcane juice rum in other countries. We saw in the last 3 years so many new brands of sugarcane juice rum, not necessarily coming from the French Caribbean, started producing. Might have been the US. We saw that in Thailand. We saw that in Vietnam, in Australia. So that's really, really big, because they noticed that agricole rum is something special, something unique, something maybe that you could put up front as a very high quality product, and they wanted to do the same. So they started doing the same by growing sugarcane and making rum out of sugarcane juice. South Africa is also a very good example for that.
Cool. Thank you, Benoit. Just before I keep on talking, today, or we'll jump to the next topic. Today, Benoit was featured on the rumlab.com as the stud of the year. As the guest of the year. We have a really nice video that we filmed basically during the California Rum Festival when we all met at Josh Miller's home. We did small clips of different people, and then today's Benoit presentation or interview came out. So if you have some time, try to go to the rumlab.com to see the interview. All right, I want to say Ki Ying, Will, Bill, John, Dave, thank you so much, and everybody else who's connected. We appreciate it. There's a lot of nice, beautiful people joining us today. Thank you for taking on some of your precious time to join us. We really highly appreciate it. All right, let's go to the second person. Who should we ask? Let's go. Here we go. Let's go with Christelle, who's actually a brand, and she can give us her point of view. This is I found this beautiful picture of H.S.E. All right, let's go back to the window. Christelle, tell us a little bit about yourself. Benoit took all your credit about he brought H.S.E to the U.S. and you told me that you were the one who did it.
Right. It's all right. Yeah, I've only been working for H.S.E for a little bit more than a year now. So I'm based in New York, and I actually worked in the rum industry before, but in France and more in the marketing side, and for molasses rum actually. And I actually worked for the company that Benoit represent, one of the brand. I worked for La Martiniquaise, and they have the Baz rum, which is also another rum from Martinique. And I was really, really, really close with the person in charge of this brand. So it got me really, really into agricole rum. and I had this opportunity to come here. So I actually work for two brands, Roselier French whiskey, which is also a really niche brand, and H.S.E Agricole Rhum. So, and they're actually partnered together recently to launch some cask finish, the exchange cask. So I think that's really cool. I'm here, so based at the distributor, which is the exclusive distributor for both brands. So I help the salesperson to sell the product and also do some marketing for the brands on the US market. I can't hear you.
Can hear you.
Oh, there we go. Sorry,
Okay.
I muted it. What are some of the goals with the U.S. market of you with the brand?
So as Benoit just said, we're really new in the market compared to other agricole Martinique Rhums. Like I think about Clement, for example, who's been here for more than 10 years. And we realized that there was something to do here, mostly in big cities like New York or like other cities where rum festivals occur. So we wanted to like make people aware of the category, of the brand, and yeah, and like help people to know that there are actually other rums than just molasses rum and the giant Bacardi, which is like sold all around the US. And it's funny because when I do like store tastings, when I used to, because I don't go in liquor stores anymore, sadly, but people would like refuse to try the product just because I would say that's rum, and they would be like, "You know, I don't like rum." And then they try it and they realize that it's actually something so different from what they're used to. So it was also really interesting to have for the brand to have someone, I guess, in direct contact with the final client, so they could have feedback and know how to approach the market in a better way. We actually don't have the whole selection of H.S.E that we distribute in France and in Martinique in the US. We try to be more specific about what the market could prefer here.
About that comment about rum and cheap rum is if the same thing happens when college kids were drinking early times, but they don't remember those days of early times. They just remember Captain Morgan, and that's actually a big backlash that we have, right? Of college kid that people grew up, they drank a lot of Captain Morgan because it was cheap with Coke, and then they blame their craziness on the captain, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, right. You had a bad experience and then like hate the whole category just because of that. So it's pretty sad.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's still there's a great market share. There's a great opportunity. There are a lot of people advocating for the category. And as Benoit was saying, right, there's a big move of just the agricole concept, right? And then you had a lot of American rum distilleries creating agricole rum or naming agricole rum, which is a thin line. It's a competition, or you're like, what is agricole? Is agricole supposed to be from France only, or France origin? But at the same time, even bad marketing helps. Is a good marketing, right? And then so somewhere or another, it's just put in the name agricole, and then hopefully people are like, well, you try this version, let me give you the Bentley, and then you have many versions of the Bentley. So tell us a little bit. Hey, Ruben says it's Fireball right now. That's hot. It is true.
You go. You go. Good for you, dude.
Terry says aloha from Oakland, California.
Hey, Terry.
And then all right, and so here we go with the next question is, benefit of the program for HSE. HSE. What have you seen that has been beneficial for you, Christelle, and the brand?
Well, first of all, the exposure and like we're really small brands, and I don't think like all imported brands realize how expensive it is to actually exist in the US. And so coming from Martinique and being a pretty small brand compared to like local market brands, like even the bourbon can be considered as a competition. It's nice to so first we can split the cost, but that's like the practical thing. But also if we arrive and we're more than one brand, it's easier to like create a category, and even though they're all, most of them are all like H.S.E Rhum, they all taste very different. So it also gives the consumer a choice within the agricole category, and like they most likely they'll end up with something they like from all the brands that the Agricole Tour carries. So that's great, and they're experts, so they know how to talk to the consumers. They know like the most frequently question asked, and like it's easier to have people like this on the markets, who know they know what they're talking about, and they're really willing to like help the category develop. So yeah, that's very beneficial for H.S.E for sure to be part of this.
Well, and having two people that are French, and they're already, when you're speaking French, it's already like, oh wow,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
You're repeating the same word, and we're like, wow, words of wisdom. This is just amazing. And
I actually met Benoit last year on the. I heard about him quite a lot before because of the pass, but I met him last year in New York on a festival where I came to give them a hand with H.S.E on their booth. But yeah, I would have never participated in this event if we had to go on our own. Because when you look around, like everyone else has like super huge booths, like all branded and with lots of staff. So that's really.
Benoit's an expert of like, he's like, Faye, give me the smallest table, and then the day of the event, give me the biggest table, and he keeps on adding tables to it, and then just like one booth becomes 10 booth, and you're like, wow, this should be the Agricole Festival. Why not?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, we actually did something like this. I remember in London, where a booth suddenly became the Agricole Room. Yeah,
I remember that. I remember that's actually the only UK rum festival that I went, and it was the Agricole Room. It was phenomenal. At least for one day out of the 3 days or 2 days, you had one day, and it was really nice, right?
Yeah.
Because then it became a seminar room the next day, if I'm not mistaken.
It was for 1 day, yes.
Yeah, but it was phenomenal. Christelle, which expression are you having the best acceptance in the market, in the US market?
So in terms of volume, obviously the white sells more. We just started to bring the 55 like a couple months ago, so we would mostly sell the 40%. But I think that's also linked with, well, you can make cocktails with it, and it's pretty cheap. It's pretty affordable for the volume and the quality that you get. But then people also love like the cask finish or the XO or VSOP. It's just that it's more engaging. Like you need to. It's more expensive. So like buyers will less likely take in the store because they will have to push it, even though they're pretty sure that the final customer will like it. But if you have ever been in a liquor store in New York, you know like how big it is and like the variety of different spirits that you can find. So it's harder to sell these products to the buyers. But when we do like festivals and And for it to final customers, they also really like the aged expressions for sure.